Capture the summer flavor with homemade canned tomatoes, whether you are canning whole tomatoes, making savory sauces. Canning is a simple, rewarding way to enjoy fresh flavors all year long.
Good morning, friends. If you're new here, my name is Tina. Welcome back to the channel and welcome. It is Monday morning. I have awoke later than I wanted. I guess I must have been tired, but I have canning that must be done. And I've got to get this done and out of my freezer. And I am gonna can up some tomatoes. This is part of an open collaboration hosted by Susan over at the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch called March into Canning 25. And I even told her, I was like, you're gonna inspire me to get my canning done because I have chicken I want to can, the tomatoes I want to can, and a bunch of peppers, and I found peaches. Maybe I'll make a peach hot sauce or something, I don't know. But I gotta get done with last year's tomatoes. So I'm gonna pull out my bag. All right, I found my last bag of tomatoes. I found some tomato sauce that I just didn't can. So we are putting this all together. And I'm still not sure what I'm gonna make with it. So for right now, we were just gonna dump as many tomatoes as we can in. I'm not worried about it because as it starts to heat, the tomatoes will sink down into the pot and I will eventually have all the tomatoes in one pot. So I'm gonna add a little water so nothing gets burned. And then I'll use my food mill to get all the bad spots off and grind everything up. I just want to get this done. So I think for right now what I'll do is just stick what is left on top, pull out my canning book and see what is the easiest thing for me to do today, to be honest. To me it's about getting more tomato sauce on the shelf versus making anything fancy because I know. There we go. Yes, I know what you're thinking. What are you doing? Well, it will go down, trust me. Isn't that fun? I'll put the lid on it and let them just cook down and I will bring you back for when I decide what it is that I'm going to make. Okay, so, you know when you're talking to the camera and you realize, I didn't start filming. Well, so the tomatoes are done. It probably took an hour or so for them to really get done and I cooked them really well. So now what I'm doing is putting it through my food mill. This, and I'm sure I have videos in it. I use this for applesauce, tomatoes, and it pulls all the juice out. You can see that. And then leaves all the pulp and the liquid in the top part here. And so as I was sitting down having another cup of coffee, I said, you know what? Let's just keep this simple and do a tomato sauce because realistically, folks, I don't mind canning. I'm just not wanting to can. And we all have those things we just don't feel like doing. And the pulp is still good. You can actually dehydrate that and turn it into a tomato powder. All right, friends, I am back. I am using the Home Preserving book by Ball. I love this book. And I am using the recipe and I am going to water bath these. And so basically all I need is the tomatoes and some lemon juice or citric acid and some salt, which is optional. And what I'm going to do right now, because there is so much liquid, I don't want my tomato sauce. Hopefully I can pour this in and you'll see how watery that is. And I'm actually gonna cook this I'm gonna actually cook this down and boil it down, and it thickens a little bit. Then I'm gonna come in here with my immersion blender, because when I was straining it, some of the seeds fell through, and I don't want those seeds in my sauce. Once I get this all cooked down to my consistency that I want, I will then put some lemon juice in each of my jars, and I'll bring you along and show you. But I'm already almost done with this, so I'm really happy about it. This is all the pulp that I have left. I'm gonna let this cool off, and this will be a perfect treat for my chickens today. Or like I said, you can take this, spread it out. You can dehydrate it. You can dehydrate it in your oven, in your air fryer, or if you have a dehydrator, you can do that. If you use a freeze dryer, you can do the same thing and then powder it up. It does add extra to rice. I love it adding it into my rice. I think it has a good flavor. I'm gonna come in with my immersion blender now and just start getting it blended up. Put some of those seeds blended up so they're not in there. My jars are all washed, but I have them soaking with hot water because I am gonna hot pack these, and I want my jars to be hot. I also have my lids in here that are soaking in very hot water. We have everything ready. One of the most important things I have learned through canning, you've got to be organized when getting your items together. So make sure that you have all your jars together, all your lids together, everything you need for canning. And that's what I've been working on while this has been boiling down. You do need a funnel, but I'm actually going to use this today, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to get my jars. So I got my jars, and one of the things that I want to do, I'm going to need to move my canner back so you can see, and then move it forward. I'll show you the one time, because if there are any seeds that didn't get blended up, I do want to be able to catch it. But before I put the tomato in, we are going to measure out about a tablespoon of lemon juice to each jar. And then you will ladle the jar, get that stirred up. We'll ladle and leave about a half inch head space. See, now this is nice because I'm getting all the juice versus all the seeds and that pulp stuff that didn't get blended up really well. So I'm gonna continue filling about a half inch head spaces to about right like here. So you wanna make sure that you fill the jars with a half inch head space. And then you're gonna cover it, and I'll show you what that looks like. I have 2 jars filled. I'm gonna get a pot holder. It is very, very important that you come in with a wet paper towel and you wipe around the rim, because when filling the jars, you can spill, and it happens. And if you don't wipe around the rims, then your seal may not seal when you process it. So like this one over here, I'll be honest with you, it really spilt a lot on the sides. You can see that. I'm not gonna water bath can that, so I'm gonna wipe them around really good. Look at that. There we go. And then we are going to take our lids, put them on, and we are going to put our rims on, finger tight, and put them in the canner. Now I can move my canner closer to me. And I am gonna do that for the next, I don't know, 4 jars. We'll see how many jars. I took 6 jars out, so we'll see how many I end up with. And there goes number 2. I'm gonna, once I get them all filled, and I'll cover them up, make sure, I'll show you that in a moment. Once you have all your jars placed in your water bath, you wanna make sure that you cover your jars. The lids need to be
covered in water, at least 1 to 2 inches of water, so you can process it in the water bath. And that's what I'm doing here to ensure that my jars will be covered and proper canning rules. As you can see, my tomatoes are done. They've been processing for about 40 minutes. I am going to be taking these out and they will be laid on a nice dry towel where they will sit for 24 hours. I will not touch them. Tomorrow I will take the rings off, ensure the seal is there, and then store them and label them down into my pantry. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Be blessed, friends, and I'll see you on the next one.